So I want to talk about the Gabby Petito case, and I know it's been talked about and dissected on this app endlessly, but I actually want to talk about it from a different angle than what I've seen before. For those who don't know me, I work in politics, and I have spent an extensive amount of time working at the intersection of public policy, criminal justice reform, and mental health. In 2014 and 2015, I was a policy advocate for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, which basically means I was a pro bono lobbyist. From 2014 on, I was always working on criminal justice reform. In 2018, I took over a group called Conservatives Concerned About the Death Penalty, where I helped overturn the death penalty in 3 states in 3 years. So I've had a long track record of doing this kind of work. And Gabby's case brought up a lot of things that I wish people in the general public were more familiar with, and I want to talk about some of that here. I know it's not all going to fit, so please go read this article I wrote at my website, which is hannahdcox.com. I covered some of the important lessons on abuse that I wish women and men knew in our country that I think would be really helpful for people. But here, I want to address what I'm seeing the media refer to as the missing white woman syndrome, which is the notion that when a white woman goes missing, they get a lot more attention and resources than when a woman who's a person of color goes missing, or even a man who's a person of color goes missing. I find it a little ironic that the media is complaining about this when it's the media's fault. The other cases don't get as much attention. Instead of writing about it, why don't you just go rectify it and actually report on some of these other cases? But anyways, the media issue is really just representative of a larger issue in our criminal justice system, which is that we do value white victims more. So when I worked on the death penalty, I learned that the top 3 determinants for who gets a death sentence come down to the location where the crime was committed, the socioeconomic status of the defendant, and the race of the victim. If you kill a white person in this country, you are exponentially more likely to get the death penalty than if you kill a black person or a Hispanic person. That's true in Texas, that's true in California, that's true across this country. Everywhere we've looked at it, that is one of the deciding factors. Now, here's why that's really important. We don't solve that many murders. Police are actually really, really bad at solving crime in this country. We only clear about 60% of homicides in a given year. So that means when you have a death penalty trial that we've decided not only to make sure that we find who did it in this case, or think we did it, we get a lot of innocent people in there, but we're going to spend $1 million extra. The death penalty costs $1 million extra. We're going to spend that much more money to be tough and punitive in this case because we tend to value these victims more. That trickles down throughout other parts of the justice system. We see other troubling components around clearance rates in general. But I think as a whole, this is a good thing that we're talking about. And while I'm really happy Gabby got the resources and attention that she did, we should try to ensure that all victims get that kind of justice and closure.